Welcome to AP World History. This is Chapter 28. We'll be looking at World War One. World War One breaks out in 1914 and lasts till 1918. Uh, this truly is a world war. I like the sound effects. In the sense that it involves a number of countries and spread out over parts of the world, not the entire world. But certainly millions of people are going to be killed in this war. It's going to be devastating to Germany and Russia, Great Britain, France. Probably the United States is the least affected by this. They are a late player into the war, and they won't suffer as much in terms of casualties. At the beginning, you have Germany, Austria, Hungary, Italy, and you have Great Britain, Russia, and France aligned against each other. Later, Ottoman Empire will join Germany and Austria-Hungary. Italy will switch sides and become an ally to the French, the British, and the Russians. The alliance that was formed between Russia and France and Great Britain is called the Triple Entente. The German alliance with Bulgaria, Austria-Hungary, Ottoman Empire is going to be called the Triple Alliance. This alliance systems were set up because of the imperialist rivalry that they had over some of the colonies. There's going to be secret treaties. Everyone is looking for someone else to back them up. Germany has been building a navy to try to compete with Great Britain, which is the strongest navy in the world. It has one of the finest fighting forces on land. Certainly, there is an arms race going on in Europe. Should this war have been fought? Most historians would say no. But it's going to be a domino effect here that drags everyone into the war pretty much in Europe. There's going to be a few countries that stay out, but most of Central Europe is part of this war. And here this map shows in green the alliance, the Triple Alliance, and then you see in the pink, this represents the Triple Entente. Causes of the war. The spark, there's always a catalyst, something that starts it. It really is going to start in the Balkan Peninsula in Serbia. There's certainly a lot of ethnic divisions and rivalries and different religions. Princip is a member of the Black Hand. This is a Serbian nationalist freedom fighters. Of course, the Austrian-Hungaries would call him terrorist. He's going to be responsible for killing Archduke Ferdinand and his wife Sofia in Sarajevo. Now, the Archduke Ferdinand is in line for the throne of Austria-Hungary. He was warned before he went to Serbia that there would be an attempt on his life, but he still makes the trip to his demise and his wife's. After the killing of the Archduke, Austria-Hungary demands that there be a full investigation, and Serbia says that they will cooperate to a certain extent, but they're not going to surrender sovereignty to the Austria-Hungary. Now, Austria-Hungary, Serbia is more or less their possession in a sense. They're overseers. Because Serbia doesn't give in to all the demands of Austria-Hungary, Austria-Hungary tells Serbia that they're going to declare war on them. Serbia is aligned with the Russians. The Russians believe that Serbia is their brother, fellow Slavs, and they warn Austria-Hungary that if they invade or declare war on Serbia, that they will mobilize and they will fight Austria-Hungary. What Russia doesn't know is that Germany is backing Austria-Hungary. So we have a lot of secret alliances going on during this time, and it's a chess game. And certainly, when the Archduke is killed, this is going to set things into motion. Here shows the assassination. Princip is responsible for killing the Archduke and his wife. Germany was worried of fighting a war on both sides. That is, France. They haven't got along with France. In fact, they fought a war earlier. So they're worried that they will have to fight a war with the Russians and also the French. Now, the French and the Russians have an agreement that if one is attacked, the other one will come to its aid. So that's how France is going to be drawn into the war. So as soon as Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia, Russia declares war on Austria-Hungary, Germany backs Austria-Hungary and declares war on Russia, and Russia will, because it has a secret treaty with France, France will come to their aid. How does Great Britain get into this? Well, when the war breaks out, the Germans will decide to go through Belgium, who is considered a neutral. To uphold their neutrality, the British get involved into the war and side with France and Russia. And so one of the problems that the Germans are going to face is that they're going to be somewhat bottled up because the naval power of the British is going to blockade them. They never really do challenge the British Navy. They will have submarines, and that'll be a way that they will fight against the British, but they really can't go toe-to-toe. They have a modern fleet, but they only come out one time, and this is the Battle of Jutland, and this was a strategic victory for the British, even though tactically they lost more ships than the Germans. The Germans never came out again to face them in the high seas, battleship against battleship. Who's to blame? Well, everyone points fingers. After the war is over, Germany is going to receive all the blame from the Allies. They're going to say that it was all because of Germany that the war started and that they will have to pay reparations. These flags, a little sound effects there. The Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente. And you can see the British, the French, and the Russians. And you have Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. And so this was the alliance system. You can see that the one at the bottom, the flag represents Italy, but Italy will switch sides. Most European nations thought the war would be over in a short period of time. Some were afraid that if they didn't sign up that they wouldn't get a chance to fight in the war because it only lasts a few weeks, at most a few months. Germany did not have a quick victory in France. They were going to be stopped, and this is going to revert to trench warfare on the Western Front. The Germans advanced to the Marne River, and there the French will hold them along with the British, who will get into it. And there will be a stalemate for 4 years. This trench warfare is going to ensue. Estimated 25,000 miles of trenches crisscrossing back and forth. In the first year alone, the Germans lost 880,000 men. The French lose 700,000, and the British lose 400,000. It's a slaughter. It's a bloodbath in just the year of 1916. Russia focuses on Austria-Hungary and Eastern Germany, but is easily defeated by the German troops. This is going to be a disaster for the Nicholas II and the Romanov family, and it will bring his end in 1917. Austria-Hungary crushed Serbia, but didn't do as well against the Russians. But the Russians are certainly going to take it on the chin. The Germans are going to be far more superior, and they will inflict heavy casualties and deaths on the Russians. Italy switched sides from the Triple Alliance to the Triple Entente. They were lured over with promises that they would receive more compensation from that side, and so they're going to switch sides. Most Italian assaults ended in disaster. Uh, they're going to go against Austria-Hungary, and it's going to be fought in the Alps. The British and the French troops had to be deployed to stop the Austrian advance, so they're going to have to come and help the Italians out. Allied powers, two arms, and you can see here where the Italians are going to switch sides, and the Ottoman Empire is going to come in on Germany's side because they're going to say that they think they're the winner. Mainly because they believe that Germany has the finest army in Europe, which they do. Great Britain has the finest navy. But unfortunately, they're going to pick the wrong side, and this is going to be the end of the Ottoman Empire at the end of World War I. Here were some major players, some of the people, the royal families that were involved. Probably not going to have to know this for the AP exam, but these were some of the people: Nicholas II, George V, Victor Emmanuel, and so forth on the Allied side. Wilhelm II, the Pasha, Franz Joseph. Not that you're going to have to remember, but those are some of the people, leaders at the time. This shows Europe in 1914. Again, you can see in the green, this represents the Triple Alliance, and in the yellow, or the represents the Triple Entente. And you can see where major clashes are going to take place. This was the furthest advance of the German-Austria advance. You can see in France, and also in Russia, and also in Serbia and Romania. Now, this might be a good memory aid to help you figure out what caused what caused the World War I, and if you can remember animals, maybe this would certainly be a help. Alliances, nationalism, imperialism, militarism, Archduke Ferdinand, loyalty, and social Darwinism. Well, look those over, and certainly that might give you an idea as to why the war took place. Certainly there was greed over colonies, secret alliances, who's got the best army, the best navy, who is the top dog. If you're building up military goods, why not use them? Of course, again, the Archduke and his wife Sophia being assassinated. Certainly loyalty to a love of your country, patriotism played a part. And then there was this idea of, well, who is the fittest? Who will survive? At World at War, certainly this was a time when both sides are going to use propaganda. Particularly the British are quite adept at this, and also the United States and the Creel Committee. They're going to turn their industrial might over to producing weapons of war, and both sides are going to use women who are going to participate in non-combatant roles. And we'll stop right here, and we'll pick this up